Most people planning a trip to Latin America ask the same question: is it safe? And honestly, in a lot of places, that's a pretty fair concern.
Maybe it is dangerous. Who knows? Either way, we're not going that way.
We found that out in a couple of spots.
This group of guys just told us that it's really not very safe. As you get higher on the steps, it gets more narrow, more places to get robbed or mugged.
But what if I told you there is a country where you can walk through cobblestone streets, sip wine, and feel completely at ease? A country that consistently ranks as not just the safest in Latin America, but also the happiest.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise!
Plus, there's no political unrest, ironclad laws and policies, a long-standing democracy, very low corruption, plus good health care that actually works. The place looks like Europe, the lifestyle's low-key, no extreme weather. It's even easy and inexpensive for Americans to move here.
Slow your roll.
Where is this utopia, you ask?
Well, we're going to Uruguay today.
Nestled in a tiny corner of South America is little old Uruguay.
It's got a really great laid-back vibe to it.
And it leaves a big impression.
Sorry, I'm eating pizza.
We're spending a day in this little slice of heaven
In Uruguay. Uruguay. How'd I do?
to see what makes it so special.
It's all straight ahead in this episode of Window Seat. Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. I'm here with Sean and Andy. We are here in Colonia del Sacramento, Uruguay.
Our day begins across the river in Buenos Aires, Argentina, in the crowded ferry boat terminal at Puerto Madero along the Rio de la Plata.
They actually say this is one of the most popular day trips in all of South America. Lots of people hop on this boat in Buenos Aires, head over to Colonia del Sacramento, and spend the day or spend the weekend. And so it'll be fun to get over there. It just might be an interesting ride because we'll be standing the whole time. There's not even room at the bar. I think clearly some folks have got this down to an art where they come on board and they make a mad dash for their seat, and then they save an entire row or two for them and their friends and family.
For an investment of roughly $100 and an hour or so of our time, we are headed to a brand new country to check off our list. One we knew little about going in.
Are we waiting for somebody else?
Sí.
So we started reading the headlines and started listening to our tour guide extol the virtues of this tiny country.
The second smallest country in South America. See, 1/3 of the population live in Montevideo.
And suddenly, Uruguay seemed like a dream come true. Uruguay consistently ranks as one of the safest countries in Latin America, and it's not just the stats, it's something you feel almost immediately. Here's why. First, Uruguay has one of the strongest democracies in the region. We're talking stable government, low corruption, high trust in institutions.
It seems like it's very stable. There's no huge highs, there's no huge lows, and it seems like a very nice place that to come spend a weekend if you're in the area.
That matters more than you think, because when people trust their system, crime tends to go down. Second, there's a strong middle class. Unlike many countries in the region where wealth gaps are extreme, Uruguay has relatively low inequality. That reduces desperation-driven crime and creates a more balanced, stable society. You don't have to be rich here to get along.
In Uruguay, you need 2 income, but with one average income you can live. Because many people build their own house.
Third, the country is small. With just about 3.5 million people, Uruguay feels more like a tight-knit community than a sprawling nation. That naturally lowers crime and increases accountability. And then there's the culture. Uruguayans are known for being calm, polite, and unhurried. There's less of that chaotic, high-pressure energy you feel in some major cities. Life just moves slower, and that creates a safer atmosphere overall.
I'll tell you what occurred to me is this would be a really good place for American expats because apparently the dollar goes a long way. They actually operate on the US dollar here. You can use it to buy pretty much anything in the country, which is good. But also, she was telling us a story about a couple that had moved here from Hawaii. They sold an $800,000 apartment in Hawaii and moved here and bought a palatial estate for $400,000. So that seemed mesmerizing to me. It's certainly appealing if you're looking to make your dollar stretch in a place that not too many people know about, but is very temperate and beautiful. It's along the same latitude lines as Australia, I believe, like Sydney, that sort of thing. So it gives you the same sort of sense of what the climate's going to be like, and it seemed amazing. It's interesting in that they don't produce a lot of their own stuff. Most stuff is imported, if not for cows. They might not have too much to offer the world, but they've found a way to make it work. And I think especially if you lived in a place like Buenos Aires, or if you were in Buenos Aires and wanted to get another country and experience something like that, easy boat right over here, and suddenly you're in this utopia where people are sitting around drinking, having pizza, and enjoying themselves. And who doesn't love to do that?
Now, to be clear, no place is perfect, but compared to much of Latin America, Uruguay is in a completely different league when it comes to day-to-day safety. Uruguay consistently ranks at the top of Latin America in global happiness reports. So what is going on here? First, work-life balance. People here prioritize living.
People retire at 65 like they're supposed to, and then that's that. I think they work their 8 hours as they're supposed to. There's a lot of downtime. And if you're into a very relaxed lifestyle, it feels like this would be the place for you.
You'll see it everywhere. Families walking along the waterfront, friends sitting for hours sharing long dinners that stretch from the day into the night. There's no rush, no constant grind. Second, progressive policies.
First country in South America where the divorce was legal. No religion at the public schools. First country in South America where women voted. 1927. First country in South America where gay marriage was legal, abortion, and marijuana.
Uruguay was one of the first countries in the world to legalize marijuana. It has strong LGBTQ+ rights, universal health care, and solid social protections.
They've legalized euthanasia, prostitution. It's a lot less religious, I think, than I expected it to be, because you think South America, you think very Catholic, very religious. And that's just not the case. She said only like 12% of the population actually practice Catholicism, with 30% identifying as that.
All of that contributes to a sense of personal freedom and security. Third, education and literacy. Uruguay has one of the highest literacy rates in Latin America and a strong public education system. That leads to more opportunity and long-term stability. And maybe most importantly, there's a cultural mindset here that values contentment over excess. People aren't chasing extremes. They're enjoying what they have. And that might be the biggest secret of all.
And they're not trying to get rich. Nobody here is rich. I think she said 9% of the population is wealthy, and that's just wealthy farmers. Nobody's a multi-billionaire here. Everybody's kind of on the same plane, and they take care of each other, and healthcare is like $50 a month, and everyone's taken care of. It seems pretty magical. I like it.
All of those qualities were on display as we toured the one place you need to go if you have just one day here, Colonia del Sacramento.
It's a small town. We're talking 30-some-odd thousand people that live here. It's got the church, it's got a bunch of squares, great restaurants, it looks like, and wine. It's really beautiful, really scenic.
It feels like stepping into another century, especially as you walk through the old stone walls of Barrio Histórico de Colonia del Sacramento, a UNESCO World Heritage site. The streets here are uneven, made of old Portuguese stones, with vintage cars parked like they've been frozen in time.
It's a very quaint town. You can tell it's very proud of who they are, very intent on remaining with who they are and being just a great place to visit.
Walk down Calle de los Suspiros, Street of Sighs, and there are a dozen stories about how it got that name, none of them confirmed, which somehow makes it even better. If you're lucky, you can climb the lighthouse for a panoramic view of the river and the rooftops. Unfortunately, we weren't lucky.
What happened?
Well, it's closed due to strong winds.
I got you strong winds right here.
But strong winds aside, this place is quiet, peaceful, almost surreal.
One of the reasons Colonia del Sacramento is so spectacular is that most of the best experiences here are completely free. Don't cost you anything. You can walk around Old Town, you can walk around the neighborhoods without any cost at all. If you want to do some of the extra stuff, maybe go to the museums, go to the top of the lighthouse. It's a little bit of money, but not much. So really, you get a lot of value for your dollar here, which is one of the most appealing things when it comes to travel. This is the perfect place for an overnight stay too. So if you're coming for the weekend, you take the ferry over from Buenos Aires, you can get a hotel here. They've got lots of villas, nice places in Old Town that's not going to break the bank. And it really feels like a getaway, even though you're only like 30 miles away from Buenos Aires, it feels like a world away. And it's a great escape from the big city.
After we spent hours walking the shady, tree-lined streets, it was time to grab some grub.
Every culture has their own specialties, and one of the things that you get here is chivita. I had that for lunch. It's interesting. It was like 2 steaks, ham, cheese, or like a grilled ham, cheese, topped with a fried egg on like almost a potato salad and French fries. It's not the healthiest meal, I'm gonna give you that. And I'm quite full after eating it, but it was very interesting. Actually very tasty if you kind of try to get the yolk all over it, mix it up, but really good. One of those things like when you come to Uruguay, you definitely have to try it just because, I mean, it's considered almost like fast food here, but it's like their fast food.
Pick a local spot, and this is key, don't rush it. In Uruguay, meals are meant to linger. Just order a glass of Tanat, Uruguay's signature red wine, and sit there. Watch the world go by. This is that happiness factor in real life. No wonder this is one of the happiest places on earth. For the rest of the day, we wander without a plan, stumble onto hidden courtyards, markets, art galleries, tiny museums, and river views that stop you in your tracks. Everything feels safe, relaxed, easy. That's Uruguay.
You soak in the fun and sun, the beautiful blue skies, the muddy Rio de la Plata. You take it all in, then you get back on the ferry and go back home or go back to Buenos Aires. Easy peasy trip that doesn't cost you that much.
We had to leave before sunset, but they say the sunsets here are amazing, and we've only scratched the surface on this country. Locals tell us Montevideo is equally laid back and amazing, and when we come back, we're definitely hitting up Punta del Este. They call it the Saint-Tropez of South America. With luxury beaches, high-end hotels, casinos, and nightlife, it is a must-visit city in this must-visit country. And as we board the ferry boat back to Argentina, we are leaving here with something we never expected when we came. A burning desire to figure out how they figured it out and how we can bottle it up and copy it back home so that we're more happy, healthy, safe, and fulfilled, like the good people of Uruguay.
We are always pulling our hair out and we're constantly, running ourselves in circles back home. And then you come to a place like this and you really consider how much more right they've got it than we do. They're just hanging out and having fun.
Uruguay is not loud about what it offers. It doesn't scream for attention, but maybe that's the point. Because in a region known for intensity, Uruguay stands out for being something else entirely. Calm, safe, happy. And once you experience it, even if it's just for a day, you get it.
That's it for this episode of Window Seat. 6 hours in Uruguay. I don't think you need that much more. You might go to Montevideo or another place and really, soak it in. But for us to get a taste of this country, I think we've done that, and I'm pretty happy about that. So if you've been to Uruguay, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. What did we miss? What would you like to have seen? What did you see when you came that we should hit next time we're here? Again, let us know in the comments below. We'd also love it if you'd like and share the video so we can continue the journey as we travel to every country on the planet. This is country number 89 for me, 82 for Sean. And more than anything, please hit subscribe again so we can keep the conversation going. We're back with a brand new episode of Window Seat next week right here on this YouTube channel. And in the meantime, check out one of these other videos from Window Seat.